right.
Okay.
I'm ready if you are.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to Know Thy Shelves. I'm Michelle.
I'm Rachel.
Yes. I didn't have any books I read besides our podcast books, so Rachel, because I know you've read some things.
I read 2 books.
Okay.
I finished Savage Bonds, which I've been reading on and off for a while.
There's 6 books. We just figured that out. So yeah, I need to actually finish that series.
Yeah. And that one ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm not happy about it. But
They all leave on cliffhangers. It's annoying.
Yeah. And
But they're all out, so you don't have to wait like I did. And still waiting because I haven't picked it back up.
And then I read Dark Dawn, which is the last in the Nevernight trilogy. So I'm done with that series.
Okay. Was
It's
it worth the read?
Yes.
Okay.
The first one, she goes to an assassin school and she learns all the stuff, and then it goes from there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, since I was born and didn't read any extra, you want to get into the podcast book?
Yes.
English is hard today.
Okay, so our book for this week was I Was a Teenage Slasher, which I had a lot of props for the movie, for the photo that I posted.
Oh, yes. I did see that. I was like, yeah. Because I just piggyback on yours and do the story. This was our horror pick for this month. Is there anything you want to go into before we get into the book? It's by Stephen Graham Jones.
Yes. It's one of my favorite horror authors.
No, I really don't. I mean, no, let's just
get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. I think as we start talking, it will be, yeah. Yes. Okay. So the book is a horror book. It is set in Lasama, Texas.
Lamesa.
Like I said. In Texas. In the year 1989. So, yeah. It is only one POV during the whole book.
And that's Tully's.
And that's Tully. I don't, I feel like as soon as I say it, it's gonna, ruin the whole plot.
Well, I mean, we're discussing the whole book, so we should say it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so what was really unique about this book, reading it, Rachel warned me, she's like, his writing style is a little different. I actually kind of liked it.
Yeah, I love it. It's just, you got to get used to the cadence of it.
In the beginning, I was like, I don't know about this book. But yes, it's basically like a mom, I can't say it. Memoir. There we go.
Yes.
From Tully's point of view, but it's future Tully.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is very unique. I'm not seeing a lot of... Is that all of his books kind of like that? Or ones you've read, I guess I should say?
They all have that same kind of writing style, the ones that I've...
Okay.
And it kind of goes back and forth of, he tells stories in between the actual story. Yeah. And then he'll also make references to, songs and pop culture things and,
From, the future him to the...
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
That made a lump.
For instance, with the Indian Lake trilogy, she's obsessed with slashers. That's her thing.
I gotcha.
So there's this whole monologue in the first book about, what is that? Dang it, what is that movie called now? It's a movie from the 90s, and I forgot completely what it is.
I can't help I've not read the series.
But she goes into, detail about why he's, a slasher, and, why this movie's good, and, all this stuff.
Okay.
And then she'll just, in and out of different slashers.
I gotcha. Okay.
But that's a different book.
So does he only write horror?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I could definitely see that from reading it, so. Okay, so now that we got that going, I think it doesn't really start out knowing that you're reading, or you don't understand in the beginning of the book that it's a memoir until you pick up the clues, and then he finally just says it.
Yeah.
So for someone that is bad at clue bad at piecing the clues together, I was like, what's going on? But anyways, so the book starts out pretty actiony, and then it kind of like goes into more of the detail of everything.
Yeah, and then it goes back into action.
Yes. Which I always like, just like, because you want that hook to get you in. Mm-hmm. So it opens up, Tilly is 17, and he explains that he's kind of like the loser in high school. Is that how you took it too? Kind of like,
yeah, he's kind of like the outcast.
Yes. He has a peanut allergy, which kind of sets him apart more. So it kind of starts out with, he's talking about the loss of his dad. His dad died in like a driving accident where he was I think he was like a truck driver or whatever it was. A big rig he was driving of some sort. And he's kind of working through the grief of his dad dying, even though I felt like his dad died when he was a baby.
No, his dad died like a couple of years before this.
Okay, a couple of years. Because I was like, why is he still like... I didn't understand that part because from like how he was saying it, he was a baby when it happened. So I was like, what? Why is he still so upset about his dad? But okay. Now that that's cleared up in my head. So it's at Deke's party, and he's not in high school anymore, right? He graduated high school.
Yeah, he was a senior the year before.
Yes, okay. That's what I was thinking. So Tully, the main character, gets kind of drunk and decides to do a cannonball in the pool. And this was not a pool party. This was not a pool, high school, I don't know. It wasn't,
it was just a house party. It wasn't
like a pool party.
Yeah.
And, a lot of other people are really upset about it. He got one of the girls' dresses wet, or clothing of some sort. She was in the marching band. Her name was Mel. And they decided that they're going to strap him to a chair and force him to drink.
Well, I think it was just to drinks. It didn't. So there's peanuts in this drink.
It's like a spiked drink, but with peanuts?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Which, obviously, he has a very severe peanut allergy. I know there's different kinds of severities, but his is very severe, where he has to have it EpiPen at all times on him.
Yes.
Which, I don't know. Peanut-y alcohol just sounds gross.
Well, so we're in a small town in Texas.
Right.
In 1989. Okay. And obviously there's country kids.
Yes.
That's the best way to put it.
That's the best way to put it.
So, he makes reference to the song in the book. Mm-hmm. I was country when country wasn't cool.
Yeah.
And they have peanuts in their Coke, and that's why they were doing it to be cool.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't get that.
I know that because my mother loves country, and I was like, oh, I know that song.
I mean, I listened to country growing up, but I mean, I'm not good with song names. Like, if I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I know that song. But song names, no. Who cares about the song name when you're listening to it? Especially on the radio in, like, the early 90s. Or
yeah.
Like, yeah, that was a good song. No idea what it was. So, yes. So they strap him to a chair, and everyone just kind of is around him.
Yeah. I don't think they realized that he had a peanut allergy. Well, they knew he had a peanut allergy.
He didn't, yeah.
But they didn't do it on purpose.
Yes. Everyone was just thinking he was drunk, being weird. Didn't realize he was actually seizing. I think it's funny, his crush which is like the goody two shoes.
Stace Goodkin.
Yes. Can't imagine. It's a goody two shoes, and he just really admires her. Thinks, whatever. Not gonna get into it.
And a year previously, Deke and a bunch of his friends decided that they were gonna play a prank or initiation.
It was some kind of initiation for the future farmers of American leadership.
Told you. Country kids.
Yes. Yes. Another unpopular kid named
Justin Joss.
Yeah.
And they made him ride a, what was it called?
I know, I had to look this up. Pump jack.
Yeah, pump jack.
Which is the thing that oil. In case you didn't know, because I had to look it up. Okay, go on. Sorry.
So, while they were doing that, Stace shows up, he falls off the pump jack, and dies. And then...
It's dismembered. He loses a hand. I think he loses one of his legs. It's important later. Or coming up, I should say. Even though we're only still in chapter 1. There's only 7 chapters in this whole book, which irritates me a little bit.
Because they're long chapters.
They're so long. Like, when you're reading a Kindle, it's like certain books have, you'll finish this chapter in this page at 48 minutes? That kills my soul! I feel like I can't, there's no... Anyways.
I know. I'm like, okay, I have this amount of time before bed. Can I get multiple chapters done?
You could get one chapter?
Yeah.
I felt like they were really all super long. I don't feel like there was any that was 20 minutes. No. I mean, there's breaks in between when they do not a time skip, but more different location.
Yeah.
Skip. Whatever you want to call that.
Or when he goes back and tells history about some past stuff.
Yeah. So Stacy and Amber. Amber is Tully's really good friend. She's they're just friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's Indian relation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if that was really important. I feel like it kind of was, but not really.
Kind of, but not.
Yeah.
So, for him, he is native. So, most of the time, there's going to be at least one native character in his books.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it was just because it was only said in the book because in the 80s, being different was not a good thing. Anywhere, especially in middle of nowhere, Texas. Yes. Very friendly. Anyways, so, yes, Rachel kind of explained where Justin comes in. And so basically, Stacy and Amber save Tully with the EpiPen that Amber always carries on her. Because they're best friends, they go everywhere, and Tully doesn't have a vehicle, so he bums a ride a lot from Amber.
In her VW truck that the seat doesn't work, so when she puts on the brakes, he slams into the dash.
Which is kind of funny, because I feel like in that specific model, it's a bench seat. So when the whole seat can go, I have, Skylar's truck, and it's not a new one, but it's a 2007, and it's a bench seat. The whole damn thing moves. Which he hates when I drive it. So to me, I'm picturing this it all goes forward. And she just nah, I'm the driver, I got this. Anyways.
I'm just saying, I've been in some beat up trucks. And you just kind of go with it.
Yes. You hear a sound, you don't hear it.
If you got to start with screwdriver, that's okay.
Yes.
You gotta
do our fair share.
You gotta go in from the passenger side.
Yeah. Been there, zip tie stuff together. Yeah. It's all fine as long as it works. Sorry, I know we're getting way off base. We're having the best chapter 1. Okay, so Tully is in the middle of a crisis, and he kind of goes unconscious. So this part is a bit hazy for the reader. He sees death, which, to me, I would probably feel the same way. So obviously he's kind of going in and out of consciousness because they administered the EpiPen, and he's still like, I'm still seasoned for my life over here. So it takes him a little bit to get through. And then he sees who he thinks is like the Grim Reaper or Death looming across the way, and he was seeing Justin Joss. I don't know if I could say that. We're just going with Justin. Anyways. And he died several years ago, right?
At least a year ago.
At least. I would say probably 2, just because Deke graduated high school and they were still in high school together.
Yeah.
I would say at least 2 years. I'm not sure. Anyways, he died some time ago. So the logistics to this are kind of hazy, because I feel like if you died at least 2 years ago, your body's gonna be a little bit dismembered.
Okay, yes. But for this,
okay,
we're stepping into slasher logic.
Okay.
So
okay, take over for this for me, because apparently I don't know slasher logic.
So, if the slasher has something that is unfinished.
Okay.
So, obviously you got the first movie, and then he can come back usually after that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
For this, Justin was wronged by Deke and his friends.
Yes.
Because of the pump jack.
Yes.
So, now he is the slasher.
Okay.
So he can come back because he needs to get revenge on the kids that wronged him.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
So like Jason, okay?
So, okay. So if I would have been like, yes, he's a slasher, then the rest of the book I wouldn't have had to pick up clues.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, for example, with Jason, the second one, he was wronged because he drowned because the camp counselors weren't watching him.
Yes.
So he comes back from the dead. Jason is always dead from the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Through the rest of the series. But he comes back to take revenge on
whoever wronged him.
Yes.
In whatever capacity that may be.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I watched enough of these movies, I should know this, but it's like, just watch it.
If you're a slasher, you can always come back.
Yes, yes. I learned a lot about slasher tropes in this book that I feel like I probably should have known.
I'm just a horror nerd, so
it's fine. So yes, so it said, like, later in the book, I want to say 50% into the book, why this is. But Justin comes back with a drill bit hand. So, like, instead of his one hand that got dismembered, that they couldn't reattach, I would assume, his hand is now a drill bit. And that's, I think he uses it to kill people. Because obviously we weren't there. Tully wasn't there for the majority of the killing. He doesn't really know what happened.
Yes. So, since he died from the pump jack, and they left something on the drill bit on his grave every single time, that's what his slasher weapon is.
I gotcha. Makes sense. Yes. I love it. I just think it's hilarious. I did not get the names of the people that died at this party. Did you? Because it just said his clique. Like, his like, you know, his...
So it was...
I mean, besides
Deke, Lance...
Lance, Kim. I had all those, but it didn't really say
Kim
who died.
wasn't a part of it.
Okay.
Mandy, Trey, Granlin, Abel, and Izzy.
Okay, cool. I was like, those names didn't matter.
Lance wasn't a part of it either. So it was Mandy, Trey, Granlin, Abel, Izzy, and Deke.
I gotcha.
And Stace.
Yes.
Okay. Who is our final girl in this situation.
Yes. Stace was severely injured, and then 5 people died at that party, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. After Tully comes kind of back to consciousness, him and Amber leave the party.
So let's get the fuck out.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out. And there was no killing done at this time, right? Like, he hadn't started killing people.
Yes.
They just...
So, Deke and Stace got away, and they went to the pump jack. And then the other kids were killed at the party.
Okay, right. Gotcha. Yes. So, after the whole incident with Tully, a lot of people, like, scattered because they're like, oh no, police are coming. And that's why Amber and Tully decide to leave as well. Which I guess, whatever. This is at the end of chapter 1 where you're supposed to get that he's infected or pick up on the clue. Like I didn't. So Amber had, hit Tully's face on the windshield because of the seat at the beginning before the party. And after the party, he has some blood on his, forehead, and he wipes it off. And this is where he gets infected with Justin's blood.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So now he's a slasher.
Yes.
But he doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, no one knows anything. I think you really figure it out, after...
He gets hit by the truck.
Yeah! after, I think that's the end of chapter 2, actually. Yes. Anyways, as they're leaving, Amber's truck... No, they're going to, the cotton plants? Fields? I don't know. And the truck does not like that. So it kind of quits, and they start huffing it home, and then they find the sheriff.
Yeah. Well, they had to get gas, so they went to that one...
Oh, the gas station, yeah. They needed to get diesel. It's important because it's the whole fucking thing. They're like, the sheriff stops to help, and then oh, you have it's gas or diesel? And she's like, diesel. She's like, oh, all I have is gas. That took a couple pages. That's all I know.
But yeah, they start walking home after that because they can't get the truck started.
Right.
Which is our first clue.
Yes.
That Tully is a slasher.
Because nothing works around him.
Except for chainsaws.
Except for chainsaws, which is a great power to have. We'll get into that later. Anyways. So the sheriff kind of investigates, obviously, because there's some couple people that are missing. No, Deke and Stace bodies are missing.
Yes.
And then the rest of the other
people were found.
Yeah, the other people were found at the party. So Tully tells his side of the story and leaves out the part about
that they were there.
Yeah, kind of. And since no one can corroborate his story, which technically Amber can, but the sheriff's like, you guys are friends. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Granted, get it. Whatever. And I think Amber kind of like, yeah, that's what happened. That's kind of how I take it. Because she's reluctantly agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, they also don't want to get in trouble. They're
right.
Like, we're not supposed to be here, but we're here.
Yes. So they kind of recant the story, kind of leave out the last bit of it when they're leaving, because they couldn't make sense of seeing Justin or thinking they saw Justin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, right then and there, the sheriff rules out Tully because he's too skinny. She says his body is too lean or something. I can't remember how she says it. And then she also rules out Amber because of the same reason. That she wouldn't be able to survive his massacre anyways. Which is shitty.
Well, I mean, they are both small, and
yes,
Justin took out 5 people in a short amount of time.
Yes.
And they were some of them were football players.
Oh, yeah.
So they were big, beefy dudes.
Yeah. Yes. And kind of want to throw that out there before we talk about him. His parents end up leaving Texas and going to a different state after this situation happened, which I totally understand. Anyways, it's important later. So the sheriff kind of asks, hey, did you guys see Stacy there? They kind of avoid telling her anything because they just don't want to. I don't know. They don't want to say, yeah, she was there. They're trying to not get into trouble. Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is the first time that the knife cinematic happens.
Where it goes,
yes! Thank you. I could not say it to save my life. I was like, slick. Yep. Nope. Didn't work. But yes. And that's, I guess, was your second clue.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's neat. I didn't think about it like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel stupid.
I mean, somebody in this book was a slasher to begin with. We knew this.
Yes, that's true. Oh, gosh. Anyways, so I'm not sure, let's see here. The sheriff decides to give them a ride.
Yeah.
And then they stop at the pump jack. And then they find Deke's body, which was killed in the way Justin was killed, which I think is poetic. And then Stacy is found alive but severely injured. And Justin is
They find Justin's body, and he's dead again.
He's dead again. Because he's fulfilled his whatever.
Slasher requirement.
Yes. And so the sheriff obviously can't get anything out of Stacy because she's unconscious, first of all. And the sheriff thinks that Justin was dug up.
Well, to be fair, the sheriff's like, okay, people can't come back from the dead. Right. So somebody dug him up and put him in this pump jack. But who?
Yes. And that's where, I think, is it said here in chapter 3 about, I can't remember, that they find out his parents came back.
I think it was chapter 3.
Yes, you're right. It is probably a little bit after chapter 3.
Because once they're at the pump jack, they get taken with the deputy's fiance.
Yes.
Back to Amber's truck.
Yeah.
And neither of the trucks will start. Because go figure.
Yeah, go figure. Yeah.
And then I think she drops them back off at the hardware store in Amber's house.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Yeah, to the hardware store. Ran by Tully's mom there. Yeah. So, this is where you first find out, like, that both cars wouldn't start until Tully was away, and Amber makes a comment, like, you're bad luck.
He's a slasher.
He's becoming a slasher.
He's not there yet.
Yes, he's not there yet.
He hasn't got hit by the truck.
Yes. So he kind of works part-time at the hardware store. And so this is where another, I think, worker or someone drops a box of canned spray paint. And he just takes the blame because he didn't really want to throw the other guy under the bus. And then so he sees this one can that they kind of missed in the road, and someone's about to run over it. And he's like, oh shit, I need to get this because the person that's driving it, which I think is the sheriff's fiance, would be pissed that, yellow every fucking where. So he runs up and grabs it and gets hit by the car in the process, and he just kind of walks it off.
Yeah, his mom thinks he has a concussion, which, to be fair,
he
got hit by a truck.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think his mom actually, like, slugged the fiance. Because I think I remember...
don't remember that.
Yeah, he's like, when he came back too, he's like, oh, she has a split lip. And I'm like, damn, don't mess with mamas. Which I thought was pretty funny. Yeah, he just seems unaffected by his injuries. And so they go, this leads into chapter 3, which is Saturday night. The party happened on Friday night.
Yep.
It's very fast-paced once you
get into it. And once you get the cadence of, like, the writing style, it's like, okay, we're moving and grooving.
Yes. So they have a nightly routine, him and his mom, of going to the video store, renting movies, and then having, like, a son... I almost said son and daughter. Son and mom.
I almost said mother and daughter.
Yeah, yes, where we're used to reading...
Mother and son.
Yeah. I'm used to reading, like, female point of view.
Yeah.
So, like, this is like a 180 for me. I was like, yeah, so this is where he goes on that he normally gets these two movies, but then he decided he didn't want to. So he ends up picking Jimica, which I've not watched, and An Officer and a Gentleman.
Yes, which has Richard Gere in it. That's all I know.
Okay, I was like, of course she knows these movies.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I'm a nerd.
I'm not condoning it, okay? I'm right there with you, just with different things.
I know a lot about movies.
I think between the both of us, I think we have really great knowledge. We could fill in a encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Anyways. So they get through the one movie, and then his mom fell asleep, which, you know, typical parent stuff. And I want to say it's like right around 9 or 10 o'clock at night when he starts to realize his color...
His vision's being weird. So so the colors are muted, but he can also see red more clearly, I think.
Yeah. We're just gonna call it slasher vision.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, I think I thought it was concussion. Like, I'm like,
well, he thought it was a concussion too.
Yeah. So he went, like, he is in pain and goes to, like, his mom's closet and sees all these, like, belts hanging up and is entranced by them.
Yeah. And then it, like, goes black, and then the next thing you know, he's at,
I want to say Amber's house.
No, because he knows, we go through the first death before he hits Amber's house. Of the two.
Oh, yes.
So he wakes up at that.
He technically blacks out until he wakes up at Amber's house. As the reader... No, wait.
No, because we see the deaths of
yes.
Leslie.
Oh, yeah,
and
because
Shannon.
it's a memoir. Yeah. Let me get this straight in my head, because apparently I'm dumb. Anyways, yes. I forgot about that. But yes, he was... In the time that it happened, he blacked out and couldn't remember. So as the reader, we know he went to the Fireworks Camper, which is a local spot for hookups, basically. It's only used for, like, 1 month out of the year for July, for obviously fireworks. And then it's just kind of tucked in the corner, laid to rest kind of thing until they need it again. So yes, that's a local kind of, like, popular place to have sex. And he sees Leslie. Now, he sees Shannon first, right? Or is it vice versa?
I don't remember, but I know he sees Leslie and he's like, this is Shannon, weird, because we thought he swung the other way.
Yeah. Which, you know, in the 80s was not, like, a good thing to be either, you know, gay in Texas.
I don't think it's a good thing to be gay in Texas right now either.
I mean, true enough. So, yes. So he sees Shannon exiting first. And they're part of the band, marching band. And that's all he really knows of them.
And that he ate glue with Shannon when they were in kindergarten.
Yes. Small town, you know, they grow up and eat glue together.
I I just remember that because it kept coming up.
I know, he kept bringing it up like it was like a badge of honor. I'm like, did you ever eat glue as a kid? Because I don't think I did.
I didn't.
Okay. Whew, didn't knock that off our list. So this is kind of explained in Tully's kind of point of view that he's kind of like a passenger in his own body, where he can't speak, can't do anything. The slasher persona has taken over. Of course, we don't know that yet. But so he realizes he's wearing a mask, but can't figure out what, how, what, why. So Shannon emerges from the camper first, and he sneaks behind her and just into the side of the camper twice, and then she's dead. And so Leslie, yeah. Yeah, Leslie. Guys, yeah. He thinks it's just Shannon, like, banging on the walls to get him to hurry up, yada yada. And then he realizes once he, like, gets on the top, because the only way you can get in to the trailer is from the little skyline thing.
Yeah, sunroof.
Sunroof, yeah. Because the sides are blocked, so you can't get in. Or the hope was to deter people from wanting to fuck with it, and they just fuck in it. Anyways.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So Leslie actually makes an escape. He starts running towards where they have like this old grain elevator.
That's what I was looking for. That's the location because it comes back later.
Yes, the grain elevator. Yes. And I want to say it's like a factory that shut down that's kind of in doom, ruins kind of thing.
Yeah.
And in pursuit of him, Tully does not run. Okay, because slashers don't run because that's undignified. Okay.
No. They walk at a very brisk pace.
Yes. So Tully, from my understanding, so correct me if I'm wrong. So from Tully's point of view, he just like goes in a direction he feels like the slasher knows is the right way. Yes. Right? Okay. So that's why he never runs. He knows where he's going. He knows where the victims are gonna go. Kind of mentality. So then he uses one of the belts he has on him and strangles Leslie against a utility pole. Okay. So that's chapter 4. Going into chapter 4.
And then he wakes up at Amber's farm with a bunch of belts.
And I can only imagine, like, this, like...
And a llama.
Which, oh my god, the name is, like, I didn't write it down, but it was, like, Ochi or something like that. It was so cool. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so instead of walking home from the grain elevator, Tully ends up traveling to Amber's house. Subconsciously. Because he's found in the barn, and Amber's dad finds him, and he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? And Amber's father doesn't really like him because he feels like he's bringing his daughter down. Socially?
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's more Tully's not the best at school either, so he's kind of just like...
Yeah.
He's just kind of there.
He's there. That's the best way to think about it, yeah. So this is where Amber finds a baby that fell out of the nest, picks it up, and is going to nurse it to health.
And you know what? This part went over my head because Final Girl stuff is like, okay, well, they're smart, they're virgins, they're all this jazz, and they take care, they're like the good of the good. And then Tully's like, oh, she's being weird. She's not saying bad words. Yeah. She's taking after birds. Like, and then, like, I want to say 80% of the book, I'm like, oh, shit, she's the final girl.
This is where I knew. I was so proud of myself. I was like, she's helping babies? And which in itself isn't weird, but, like, come on. And... like, she's not cussing. He mentioned it multiple times after this scene that she's not acting like herself. So
she's reading the encyclopedia.
Yes. And smart, goody two-shoes. Yes. This... I wasn't surprised, but I was. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, picking up these clues. I'm picking them while you're laying down, yo. But anyways, yes. And so she's like, okay, I'll take you home. And he's like, no, I want to show you something first. So he takes her back to the camper, which he thought where he was at last night. Nothing's there. Slasher logic disappeared. Nothing there. Which was angry to me. And I'm like, why?
No dead bodies, no evidence.
Yeah, none. Okay, so it looks like he was not there. You can kind of see some, like, the dent's still there in the camper, which he pointed out to Amber. And she's like, well, that could have been fucking anything. And he's like, no, that's blood. And he, it could be. You never know. It could be rust. You never fucking know. So she's just thinking that he's fucking crazy. And, not crazy, I shouldn't say that. Thinks that he is going crazy because of the concussion he clearly has. Because she's like, no, you're, this is where you find out who they were, the people that he killed. That they were part of the people that tied him up on the chair. And he's like, and so she's like, no, you know, you're probably having some anger about the party. You're okay. So that's where she's thinking that he's making this revenge story up in his head. And since he's concussed, that he's just thinking about killing me.
Yeah, well, she thinks he just, like, dreamt it up. And, like, he didn't actually do this. But he woke up with a bunch of belts.
Yes.
In her barn.
Yeah. Which was kind of...
With no memory of getting there, so...
Yes. So I thought that was, like... She's like, okay, we're going to go to the hospital now. Because I think his mom and the sheriff come up.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, they meet him at the camper, don't they? Or no?
Yeah, I think they...
I can't remember now.
They meet at the camper because, one, his mom was looking for him, and then two of the kids are missing.
Yes.
And the sheriff knows that, so she went to the grain elevator.
Yeah.
Because they know that's a make-out point.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah. So, Tully, to try to get Amber to understand, like, he is saying his truth. He's like, I swear on my dad's grave. And she's like, stop fucking, that's not cool. And then I think that's where Sheriff comes in, says that Leslie and Shannon are missing, which we already know.
Yes.
And Tully's taken to the hospital by his mom because they think he's crazy. You know, some from the accident, not actual crazy. I guess I should say. Yes. So.
And I think this is where Amber is like, no, Leslie likes guys. Like,
yes, yeah. So she's like, no, like, they wouldn't be having sex. And he's like, well, what else would they be doing? They were putting their clothes back on and shit. And she's like, no, he's gay.
Like, he was caught at camp with another guy.
Yes. And so, like, she's like, no, none of this makes sense, Tully. Like, I think he needs some help. So the doctor says, you know, just go home, rest, kind of. You're not supposed to if you're concussed, but it's fine. You're not supposed to, like, fall asleep for very long, like 20 minutes. So you're supposed to have someone with you to be like, yo, don't fucking, you know.
Yeah.
So why the doctor was just like, yeah, go get some rest. But it could have been, no, never mind. I was about to say, it could have been from his daughter, because Stace is the doctor's daughter, right?
Yeah.
But they had found her at that point, so no, okay. So Tully asks his mom to drop him off at the hardware store, because she's gonna go get some chihuahua.
It's this food from a drive-in. It's what it was.
I understand it's a food. I don't understand what it is. Like,
they explained what it was, but I don't remember.
Not appetizing. But anyways, so Tully's like, no, I really want these. So she's like, okay, well, it's technically not open, but I know the guy that runs it. I'm gonna go get you some. So she drops him off at the hardware store and was like, don't leave. And then asked one of the other workers, Rodrigo?
Yes, Rodrigo. The one that gets drunk at work?
Yes. Only on Saturday and Sunday because that's the God's work. So Amber actually is already at the hardware store. She's like waiting for Tully to come there because she has like stuff for like a birdhouse, but he knows that she doesn't need the stuff for the birdhouse because they live on a fucking farm. They have stuff.
She's just trying to make the bird a good home.
I want to know if the bird lived, is my question. But it's...
I'm going to say it did.
I'm going to say so too. So Amber kind of reveals to him that she talked to Mel. And Mel was one of
the band kids.
The band kids that were at the party. And Tully's kind of giving her shit, like, what the fuck are you talking to my enemy? And she's like, just to figure out who was all involved. And he's like, okay, you gonna tell me who was all involved? And
she goes, nope.
Nope.
Not at all.
Because he was drunk, second, the like, anaphylactic shock. So his memory is not the greatest of that night.
Also, she thinks at this point that he might be a slasher.
Yes. She's kind of already piecing it together. Which is why she wanted more information, why she wanted to talk to Mel, why she wanted to do the next part, which I find fun.
The slasher test?
Yes. And then she does confirm with Tully that Shannon and Leslie were part of the people that tied him up and decided to try to kill him. So, yeah. This is where she gives him random things to pick up to see if they make the noise.
You only get it one time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I cannot do it. So it makes that obvious sound. And I think it's everything he picks up.
Except for a spoon.
Yeah, besides the spoon. Because, you technically could kill someone with it. It would be hard. The only way I can think about it is scooping out an eyeball, and that's not really like...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like, you're not really killing anybody with that. It's very painful.
Yeah. I don't know. So I agree with that. The spoon would be very hard unless you made it like the spork with the little... Anyways. But then
even then, killing somebody with a spork would be difficult.
Yes. Yes, it would. I think I found out my new serial killer. I'm gonna, the grapefruit spoons that have a little jagged edges? Mm-hmm. That would be fun. Just saying. Just something out. Anyways.
I'll tell Kyle. Put it in the next one.
It'd be interesting. Anyways. So basically everything he picks up, and it's just like a butter knife, tell you. Like just a butter knife, and he just does that. And I'm like, I guess you could, but I feel like that would be a little hard too.
Yeah.
It's
it's not very sharp, so it'd be very painful.
Yes, it would be very, with enough force. Anyways. We're serial killers, it's okay. No, I'm just kidding.
I've watched a lot of horror movies.
Yes. And I think this is where, Amber reveals about Justin's parents being back in town. They moved to Georgia, apparently, since I wrote it down. And then kind of raises questions about why they suddenly came back to town.
They're the red herrings.
They're the red herring.
They're the suspect.
Yes. Which, as soon as she said that, I was like, God dang it. I feel like I'm... Ugh. Yes. I put it all together kind of then, but I was like, God. Of course you had to say that. Anyways. So, yes. And then the Sheriff Burke suspects them as the prime suspects of the killing, the massacre. Because, obviously,
those kids killed their child.
Yes.
And then this is where they go to the school and she tests him more.
Yes.
They do the speed test and then the
speed test.
The locked doors test.
Yes. She's like, I forgot my watch, and then makes him have to get into like this. She goes the opposite way, and he's like, this stopwatch, and she's like, that was locked. Like, you could not have gotten in there. And he's like, it was unlocked. What are you talking about? So that was the second test. The third test is 20 meter or whatever, 40 meter.
Yeah.
That she was timing his average, and then she blindfolded herself. And he did it in like 2 seconds or something weird.
Yeah. And he does it better if he has a limp.
Yes. They put like a rock in his shoe, and he does it even faster. And I'm like, I want to be a slasher. Like, that'd be cool. Yeah.
But do you want to be a slasher?
Not really.
Yeah.
I think this is... Oh, we skipped over the chainsaws. So when they're still in the hardware store, there's these 2 chainsaws. And he made a deal... Rodrigo made a deal with the customer or whatever. If you can get them both working, you can keep one. And he's like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with it. And Tully kind of just... And it just... alive, you know. Which was...
Because these were very old chainsaws.
Yes. Probably eroded. Probably didn't even have gas in it. Or oil. Some of them, I know the older ones, you had to have a mixture of both. And...
probably a little rusty.
Yeah.
Definitely dusty.
Yes. So he grabbed the cord and didn't have a handle. So it's just going on. Just, you know. So he's trying not to cut himself. And then he actually makes the other one start working. And then when he tries, nothing. And then they go to the school. And then this leads into chapter 5. So we are only 2 down. 2 from the main, the POV. Only 2 killer, or 2 dig.
2 dead.
2 dead.
There's
6.
5.
6.
Because there's Leslie and Shannon. There's another 2 people, and then Mel. So that's 5.
6. There's 6 total.
Oh, because, yeah. Well, she was...
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't, yeah. Which I was going to ask you a little bit later about. Anyways. And then chapter 5 starts out with, you know, they just went over the rock situation. And how he is faster. And you have to not be looking at him. Obviously. And it opens up, chapter 5 opens up with him talking about present him, older him, however you want to say it. He kind of puts like bolts in his shoes at work sometimes to be faster.
Yeah.
Which I think is fucking hilarious.
He's like, I'm gonna use this to my advantage.
Yes. And I want to say he's 17 years old when the book starts, and there's a 17-year gap. So he's 34, I think. Is that right? Yeah, 34. So 17-year-old and 34-year-old. So this is when Amber starts to get like, hey, tell me the story. Tell me everything. And he's like, why you didn't believe me before? So she's trying to get all the details to add up.
Yes.
The locked door situation, him moving faster when no one's watching him, proficiency in any kind of weapons, and then
the colorblindness.
And this is when she's like, you're being dictated by slasher movie logic.
Yes.
So this is where she shares her hypotheses with him, because she grew up on horror films, slasher films, watching them with her older brother, who's currently in the military.
It's good to have slasher knowledge.
It is! Apparently I'm good now. Always stare at them.
They're like Boo's from Mario. You gotta stare them down.
You know? That's probably where that logic came from. No, I'm just kidding. So Amber thinks she's identified Tull's final girl, which is Mel, because Mel kind of initiated the whole, we're gonna strap you in that fucking chair and force feed you coke. Yes. Anyways, so anticipating that, they try to stop him. So, I think Amber's trying to get him to, like, the hibernation period.
Yeah. Well, she's trying to not have him turn at night, like he's a werewolf.
Yeah. Which, later we found out it's not just night.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, because I feel like it's mostly night in the movies. I mean, I guess...
It depends on the movie.
Yeah, you're right. So she's wondering about trying to get him into hibernation. She drives him back to the hardware store, and Tully's really concerned about harming his mother, because slashers don't necessarily kill everybody, just people that get in their way, and he's afraid that if, you know, his mom tries to stop him when he's in these periods where he can't control his body, he doesn't want her to be harmed.
He doesn't want to kill her.
Yes.
And also, Amber's like, the Josses are gonna die here soon.
I felt so bad for them. Because the red herrings always die. Sad face. So Amber tries to convince him, like, if you don't want that to happen, you should tell your mom about what's going on. And he's like, oh, yeah, that'll go over super great. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just tell her I killed 2 people.
Yeah.
And I can't control it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I can get through locked doors.
Yeah. And I think it's later on they go to the... Yes.
Around this time is when they go to the grave, and he leaves a letter.
He leaves a letter to his mom explaining the situation. And she suggests that... Amber suggests to Tully that Justin's parents probably don't even realize why they're in town. They just had the compulsion to come because it set all this in motion, kind of thing. And then, you know, they talk about Leslie was gay. And how the people that he's going after is turning into the trope characters.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is where I kind of piece together, like, Mel hasn't been in this, but Amber's kind of turned into the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh shit, this is why.
Yes. Which I feel like the job does a pretty good, if you didn't pick up on the clues, it did a really good job of giving you that nice surprise at the end. If I take out that I kind of already pieced, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like it was still enjoyable even though I knew it was coming. But if you hadn't picked up on the clues, I feel like it'd still be a nice twist ending.
Yeah. Well, I think the people that are not going to pick up on this haven't watched a lot of horror movies.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And that is not either of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is kind of where they also go with, well, Shannon was voluntarily being celibate due to her beliefs. And so that's why that was partly the reason why Amber was like, they were not having sex. Leslie's gay. Shannon's saving herself for marriage. Like, no.
This isn't happening.
Yeah, so that's another reason why Amber thought it was concussion. So,
and then they start to piece together his mask.
Yes.
Well, they go back to her house.
Yes.
And they try to piece together his mask.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to lock him up so that he doesn't get out.
Yeah, she puts chicken wire all around him and puts him in like this cage, and I'm like, what kind of cage are you? Like, what is this? But yes, he grabs all of the belts, and he's kind of in the barn by himself until Amber can kind of sneak him away again, because her parents don't know he's in the barn. And so he's just like putting these like belts around his face, and he's like, no, this is not how this works. Like, what is this? So he couldn't get it to figure out, or he just felt silly doing it, so he stopped. He's like, no, that's definitely not it. But then, why are there 8 belts?
Why am I carrying around so many belts?
Yes. And I was like, I didn't, you don't find out until a little bit later that the belts are his mask. He, slasher guy him, just puts them on, and I'm just like, this just seems ridiculous.
It's slasher logic and superhero logic. If you get a power, you can just automatically have a cool costume.
I don't think that's a cool costume.
No, but he's got to stand out, and he's got to have his face covered.
I get it. So Amber calls everyone and was like, hey, don't do anything stupid. Don't go out. So she tries to save them. And of course, she still hasn't told us, the reader / Tully, who was there that helped in his strapping of the chairs. Which I think he was actually strapped to the chair with belts, too. Which I think was another thing.
Yeah, it was another connection point.
Yes. I forgot. Not forgot, but this is where they go to, like, the cemetery, and then he leaves the note on his dad's grave because he knows his mom goes there. And then they see the two parents of Justin, and Tully's like, why are they at the grave? No one's there. Like, you don't say that shit!
Put his foot in his mouth.
Yes, always. That's Tully to a T. And so Amber kind of was like, yeah, he was really popular, or he was above us, so, you know, like, tries to, like, smooth things over, even though the parents know it's kind of a fib. But it was nice that they tried to, like,
comfort them.
Yes, and then Amber's like, be safe. Like,
we know it's what's coming.
Yes. And so Amber messages Tully's mom and basically like, hey, we found this doctor in New Mexico. It's a cousin of mine. This was meant to lure his mom away because he was scared he was going to hurt her. I think it was all Amber's idea, to be honest with you. And then he starts seeing the collar, and then that's when he was like, Amber, I need help. And then she puts him in this contraption, and she's like,
I gotta go.
I hope this holds. And I feel like that's a really big plot point because she knows he's a slasher. Like, there's no doubt in either of their minds.
Yeah, but they're also compelled to play their roles. So if she is the final girl, she can't be there before everybody else is dead.
Is that what you're supposed to think?
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. I was just like, I feel like that's a major plot point because if he is a slasher, then all she needed to do was stare at him.
Yes.
But you're saying since it's the compulsion of the characters that they play. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Thanks.
That's their role. So she has got to leave so that he can fulfill
and yes,
killing everybody else but her.
Yeah, and her hope was she warned everyone they won't be fucking stupid. They were.
Yeah.
So chapter 6, which I know I didn't go over the other chapter names, but this is Skinny Dipping in the Moonlight, just to kind of give you a heads up where we're going.
We're getting saucy.
We're getting a little saucy. So from my understanding, it takes him a long while to actually get out of the contraption. Because it's almost morning at this point, or close to morning when he kills some of the people. So I think he said in the book that why are they out here at like 2 o'clock in the morning, skinny dipping in this like trough, or what? It wasn't a trough. It was a tank of some sort.
Yeah, it sounded like the grossest thing of all time.
Yes.
Like you're swimming in stagnant water.
Yeah. It's the trough that I guess has water for the cows. Stock tank or something? I can't remember. Yeah, stock tank. Which does seem gross. I don't know. I've never ticked that off my bucket list either.
No. Let alone getting fully naked and getting into that water.
Yeah, I don't know if I would.
No.
So, yes. So I think Jenna, is the one that's swimming naked in the thing. Wes wasn't. Or was he?
I think Wes and Jenna were both swimming.
Okay. Yes,
and then...
Right. And then Mel.
Not Mel.
But at the time, Tully thinks it's Mel. Was throwing the baton thing that she does as a band.
Yeah. She's the guard part of the band.
Yes. So he just kind of stares at them. And just stares at them, creeper style. And Wes thinks he sees him or sees someone in the thing, and the other two are both like, you're just crazy. You're making things up. And so Tully gets a little closer, and there's this pipe thing in the stock tank that he dislodges and pushes it in and kills Wes. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not, like, he, like, gets on the pipe to break it loose and then kind of impels it in where, I guess, Wes was. So he died immediately. And then Jenna is trying to escape, but it's a stock tank. There's no really, like, you go over there, I go over there. So she really didn't know where the best way to, like, exit, because I assume there's a ladder of some sort, or I don't know. So she, I think it's Mel. What, isn't it Mel that, yeah, Mel hits Tully with the baton in the face.
Yes.
And, you know, mask, you gotta have a mask. It did, like, I wouldn't say...
It did some damage, but not a lot.
Yeah, like, and of course all his pain is internal pain. You don't ever see him injured.
Well, you see him injured, but he's not...
But it's not
he's
external.
Like super strength.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's like...
Yeah, I mean...
At the end of the book, like, he shatters his pelvis.
Yes. That takes a couple years to heal. He did say that. Anyways. So this is what surprised me. Is, so Mel kind of crashes into the stock tank with the truck. I think Wes's truck, right?
Yeah.
And Tully, instead of getting hit by another truck, he lays down flat, and, you know, slasher logic, if you don't look at him, he's alright. He's good. So Jenna kind of comes out, obviously, because the water's, like, pulling out, and Jenna kind of recognizes Tully. Not really his face, obviously, because his face, but he said something about, like, she must have known by his body
who he was.
Yeah, who he
was. It was probably his clothing besides the belt.
Yeah, that too, probably. But she's like, wait, you know, I you know, won't ever fuck with you again. I'll be, you know, begging, and he strangles her with her own hair. Which I feel like you have a very long hair to strangle someone with. I don't have that problem. So this is when Mel uses the truck again to pin Tully. No. I'm trying to think, how does Mel... She crashes into the stock tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm past that part. So the impact of the stock tank, obviously the water comes out. Wes is... His body's on the windshield. Which Mel just screams at. And so he kills Mel, not Mel, with the baton that she was twirling. And he doesn't want to see... He doesn't want to see the life fading from her eyes, so he takes a cactus and pushes it in her face. And then...
I mean, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, I guess so. Because I guess, yeah, no, all other deaths he hasn't been up and close.
Yeah.
Like that. So after those three are dead, he kind of comes out of the persona, and then he realizes that who he thought was Mel was not Mel. It was
Janice Dickerson.
Yes. Which I don't know if she was involved in.
She wasn't, but she was part of the band. I think she was just like a...
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yes.
Okay.
She got in his way, so he killed her.
Yeah. But he thought she was Mel, so he thought he was done.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know why he thought. I don't know. Because he didn't know who was involved, so I don't know why he thought that.
He was That was it.
Because I think Amber said, well, Mel must be your final girl. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why he was like, I'm done, I don't need to. And then he realizes, damn it, I'm not done.
Yeah. But it also comes out that Wes and Jenna were different from what they portrayed too. Because Wes was like very athletic by the book. Mm-hmm. Like he would never go out.
Oh yeah, his body was his temple and he was drinking, smoking, and yeah. And yeah, I don't know about the other two.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it said if Janice was, or not Janice, Jenna was loose or not.
I don't remember, but I feel like Wes definitely was.
Yes, he did mention character. Yeah, he did mention that. But I don't know about Jenna. So this is what's funny. So he takes off all his belts after he kills the 3 people. Not Mel, Janice, and he puts the belts out, and he's just gonna wait there, kind of thing, and then he kind of goes slasher again. And then when he regains consciousness, because we don't ever see what he does with those in certain aspects. Yeah. So when he regains consciousness, he's in a truck with a pumper, who used to know his dad, and he kind of talks about his dad and stuff. Oh yeah, the pumper offers like Tully a hard hat that was his father's.
Yeah,
that had his last name on it, which is Driver. So he drops him off at the town and country store so he can call his mom. Well, he doesn't have any money on him.
He also doesn't call his mom.
No, he doesn't. So
he kind of makes up this story about...
he tells a story about... If you want to go ahead, go. The welder.
Yeah, he tells a story about this welder that kind of gives him money and, like, helps him out a little bit, mm-hmm. but come to find out that's not true.
Yeah.
Which we knew from the beginning that Tully wasn't a reliable narrator.
Yeah.
But this, like, kind of hammers at home, and he's like, oh, yeah, the welder didn't do that. He left his Dr. Pepper on the trash can, so I got his Dr. Pepper, and
yeah,
I don't know how I got the quarter, but I did.
The quarter was in the machine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was in, like, the quarter out. So, he did explain after this, I think it's actually, the beginning of the next chapter, he says, in actuality, he just ignored him, really. But I guess he said that he felt like that's the interaction he had with him, and that's why he wanted to put it in there. Okay. I really didn't understand that whole tidbit, so cool, maybe thinking that, maybe he, I don't know, I'm speculating, I don't know. Anyways, I think it was almost like he could be normal.
Yeah. He thought that maybe this was over, probably, and he was like, okay, well, we're getting back to normal, so
yeah,
this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Not back to normal.
Yeah, not back to normal. But, so obviously he doesn't call his mom. He calls Amber. And, he tells her, hey, this is what happened. Let's run down who I killed today. And then she's like, oh, well, you're digressing a little bit from the slasher point just because of the Janice. And,
he finds out that Mel's still alive.
Yeah.
Because I think Amber talked to Mel?
Yeah. She did. And then, of course, they go to the stock tank, and they don't find anything. Not the truck, not the... So he's like, oh, man, I don't know what I'm doing with all these bodies.
He's like, dang it, man.
He's like... I'm like, what would you do if you found that? Like, yeah, I killed these. Like, I don't know.
I also think this is where Amber tells him about the Josses dying at Deke's place because they got shot.
Yes. Ruled them out as suspects since they died.
So so the sheriff's coming after Tully.
Yes. There was an altercation between Justin's parents and Deke's parents, and they both died. And then they consider kind of ways to try to stop Tolly to completing the cycle, I guess. Like noting that Stacy could only stop Justin once he had fulfilled his original duty.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out, and Tolly's just like, well, I'll just commit suicide. Everyone's happy. And Amber's like, I'm not happy.
And also it doesn't work because Justin came back.
Yes. But Tolly think it will work, you know? So he, you know, thinks over killing himself with the belt. Poetic justice.
Jumping off the grain elevator.
Yeah. There's some things. And to end the chapter, they're kind of on their way to the police station because
he's gonna turn himself in.
Yeah, he's gonna turn himself in. And they drive past the Sky View, which is kind of like a Sky drive-in or a video drive, like a movie drive-in. Where Tolly's like, what's wrong with that projector messing up? And he goes into this whole spiel of like, yeah, it messes up from time to time, da 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 da. And then he realizes that his color blindness kind of is kicking back in.
Yeah.
And he ditches Amber's truck and like opens the door,
barrel roll
out, and it's like, run.
This is gonna be the final showdown, is what he thinks.
Yes.
Is at the drive-in.
Yeah, and he doesn't understand because his powers to be or whatever don't. His radar, it doesn't say Mel's at the drive-in. So he's just like, what the fuck? So he just kind of like leaps out of the truck and then just starts putting the belts on. What? And then this leads into the last chapter, okay? Where he confesses that the fictional encounter with the welder Bo or whatever was all messed up and okay.
All right. Like, I don't know why that was in there, but okay.
Yeah, I have no idea why it was in there. It was just one of those, like, okay. And then Amber gets out of the truck and was like, Tully, what the fuck? And he saves her. Basically, like, scoops her up and takes impact of... I swear, she just needs to have her license taken away. The sheriff's fiance. I feel like she's like hit so many shit at this point, like. But this is where he shatters his pelvis, which doesn't really slow him down that much. Just, you know, honestly, because he's a slasher.
It's just a little slow down.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. He's a little slower. No, I'm just kidding.
If anything, this makes him faster.
Yeah, and I think this is where the first time, like, his slasher persona is seen by other people besides the people he's already killed.
Yes.
And, which later...
They made a movie about him.
He made a TV film, and he's known as Strappy. Which... It just sounds like a cartoon character! I mean... Just saying. Okay, anyways. Sorry. So he kind of limps out of the way, and he just starts walking. He encounters this wild pack of dogs, which apparently dogs don't like slashers. I didn't know that was a trope.
Well, they don't like anything that's unnatural.
Okay.
So...
Is that where it's good more towards?
Yeah.
Okay.
So... And they feel like he is a threat, which he is.
I gotcha. Okay. So... The possum that he saw at the camper with his night vision, he kind of throws the possum to the wolves. Dogs.
He tries to save the possum, to be fair.
To be fair, yes.
Doesn't work.
It does not work. So...
Because the possums do what possums do and they play dead.
And then they just kind of get torn out. I feel so bad. So, yes, the dogs get distracted by the possum, and you are supposed to know that it's dead. Just because later on, the dogs have blood on their muzzles already. He reaches a wall. The wall. Which is a landmark where the high school graduates get to leave. Like some high schools, you senior year, you get to paint your, like, parking spot.
It's kind of like here where we have that drainage thing, and the high school kids paint that every year.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I'm talking about by the river?
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I wasn't part of that. Wouldn't that be called?
That wasn't our school, is why.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Forget that shit. Anyways, and that's where he finds Mel. She's painting her own kind of message and basically calling out Tully and who all he killed. And it's basically like Tully, 14, how you say the name? What's the name of the town?
Lamesa.
Lamesa 0. And this is where I was going to ask you about before we get into, like, what happens afterwards. Who were they encountering in that 14? Because he killed 6.
So, I think they're counting Justin's too.
Right.
And then
that'd be 8.
The Josses. The parents. And then I don't know who
That's
else.
where I was like, why is the count so high?
I don't think it's... Because he killed 6. 6 died. Well, 5 died. So that's 11.
Yeah, MC kills 6, but 14 in some counts. If you... And the only ones I could really think of was the parents. Justin's parents. And I'm like, logically 8, if you want to include them, because... But I feel like that was more...
I think they're counting Justin's whole killing spree too. So he killed Deacon.
He killed
that's
5.
5. Well, 6 because Deke. So that's 12. 13, 14 is the parents.
5 people died at the party.
Yeah, but Deke dies at the pump jack.
Oh, I gotcha. I was just like, I don't understand. He didn't kill those people. That's where I was like, I don't understand the count. Okay. Because I can kind of see where you would think that, you know, if this never happened, if Tully never became a slasher, then Justin's parents wouldn't have. I'm like, I can get that. I can understand that part of it.
But Justin's parents were already in there before when Justin came back.
Right.
Because they were the red herring to begin with.
Oh.
And they just kind of transferred over
to Tully. Okay. Thank you. Apparently I was not piecing that together. Okay, so back to Mel. Yes, I think he interrupts her, like tries to grab her with one of his belts he has just lying around on his face. She gets away. Amber comes up in the fiance's truck, the deputy fiance's truck. Doesn't see them and kind of leaves. So Tully chases Mel, but I feel like the pack of dogs was in there somewhere.
Well,
or was it after?
So Mel gets away, and then
yes, Mel stuns him with the spray can, like in his face, and then the dogs end up trying to like attack him, and then the dogs. Okay, Amber scares off the dogs. I was like, because I texted you at that part. I was like, where are you at?
I was like, I'm finished.
Yeah. Well, I was always worried because I know that's one of your triggers. So I'm like, you good?
Yeah.
Without being like, there are dog scenes in this. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay.
It was very short.
It was very short, but it was really graphic because that's when you find out that they did kill the possum, and they're just tearing into him, like, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm good. Yes, sorry. So Amber kind of just runs off because she didn't find him because she knows slasher rules, so she goes somewhere else, which is the green elevator.
Yes.
Because slashers always go back to the first scene of the crime. So...
And then Mel ends up at his house.
Yes, his house with the sheriff. And the sheriff... Mel takes the sheriff's revolver. And the sheriff's like, calm down, you're fine.
Puts her in the back of the truck.
Well, she shoots Tully first. She shoots into the dark, which happened to be his shoulder. And so the sheriff and everyone, neighbors start coming out. They're all like, what? But they don't notice Tully. He kind of removes his belts to like kind of blend in. And so the sheriff is like, Mel, come here. See, you can't unlock this door. You're safe in here. So she puts her in the back of the cruiser. Well, we know already that Tully has no problems with locked doors. So, Tully makes it to the cruiser without anybody noticing. Okay? Fucking skill. Okay?
Well, somebody falls off the roof, don't they?
Yeah, there was a deputy on top of Tully's Tully's house, whatever. Because they figured Tully would come back there. And the mom was out still. She's out of town still. Kind of. So yes, the sheriff was, I think, in the house or on the porch or something to that degree. One of the deputies was on the roof. He fell off. And then that's how he makes it into the cruiser unseen.
Yep.
And obviously strangles Mel with a belt. And he escapes. Besides, one of his neighbors sees him. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tully escapes.
And Mel's dead.
And he is non-slasher because he can see colors again. Which that was a really big indicator for me. And where I'm like, are you slasher Tully? Or are you regular Tully? So yes, he can see. He's fine. He just kind of walks towards the green elevator on impulse and considers dying of suicide because he feels like he got his final girl.
Yeah.
He just wants it to be done because he don't think he can live with knowing that he killed people.
Yes.
So Amber finds him at the green elevator because she knew he would come back to this place. And Tully shares with Amber that Mel is dead and points out the tunnel of love trope.
Okay, so basically the final girl has a trial before she can get to kill the slasher.
Okay.
So she has to go through a bunch of things.
Okay.
So
the dead team members.
And she's got to see, like...
Students.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that was, like, an actual trope. I'm not gonna lie. Because she tells Tully that, you're missing that piece. And he's like, huh? Like,
yeah. He didn't really have to try to get her. And she didn't really fight back, either.
Yes. So... I'm trying to remember exactly when... he makes contact with Amber, like touches her in some capacity, and then he realizes he knows Mel was not his final girl, that Amber was.
Yeah.
And then he goes, obviously, slasher, and she's trying to, God love her, she's trying to like reason with the slasher part of him, and he's trying to fight back because he doesn't want to kill her, and he doesn't feel like it's fair. Because Amber did save him, but she kind of, in the beginning, didn't really try to do anything.
She
wasn't, I don't think she
there
knew.
In the beginning.
Yeah, like she was kind of like off in the corner. She didn't realize what was happening. Stacy was the one that actually saved him with Amber's help.
Yeah.
So I guess the slasher part was like, she wronged me.
Yeah.
Okay. So
she also made him the slasher because she hit him, she brake checked him.
Oh, so that could be part of it too, where he feels like it's her fault for him becoming.
Yeah.
So it could be one of two things. I don't think it's ever said. Like, it says that his slasher part feels like she's responsible in some capacity, and that's about as far as it goes. So she gets. So all the missing bodies were in the grain elevator. If you hadn't noticed, if you didn't get that with the tunnel of dead love bodies,
yeah,
a tunnel of love with dead bodies.
So this is where they have their final showdown.
Yes, which the final girl can only kill the slasher with its own weakness.
Tully's weakness is peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Or peanuts in general.
Yes. So she had a peanut butter jar in her sweatshirt and put it all over his face. And because I think at that point he had her by the neck, hanging over the edge of the, like at the top of the green elevator. Yeah. He was going to throw her down or whatever he was going to do. Well, she smears peanut butter on his face. He kind of like stumbles back, drops her, and then tumbles down.
Yeah, he falls off the grain elevator.
Yes.
And then that's the end, kind of.
Yeah.
Except for she saves him in the end.
Yeah, she comes down and starts wiping the peanut butter off of him because she knows that even though he almost instantly heals, it's not something that can be healed
right away. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So she gives him mouth to mouth, resuscitates him. She's like, okay, I just need to walk away. And so she turns around, allows him to kind of
get up and do his slasher thing.
Yes. And then he decides to, on his way out of the town, because he's like, I need to leave. I don't want to kill her. He encounters his mom, and she has the letter in her hand, or we know that she's read the letter, and she tells him to leave.
Yep. And then he gets on out of there, and then you find out that he works at, like, this kind of junkyard. Mm-hmm. And Amber's still alive, so he's still a slasher.
Yes. I want to say it's, like, 7 hours away from where he lives. But it's
in Colorado.
Yeah, it's in Colorado, though. And then he notices Amber's truck in the junkyard. And then this is where he gets the whole idea in his head. 17 years later, he starts writing his version of what happened. And this is where the rest of the book obviously comes into play. And
just explaining things to Amber and what happened.
Yeah, like, the book has some weird format styles, which is supposed to be, you know, he wrote this book whatever year after. In the early, well, no, it'd be in
the 2000s.
Yeah, it'd be early 2000s. But he's writing this on, like, a computer that prints out on a receipt. You know, I don't know if you remember the receipts.
Like I remember the receipts that you're talking about.
Yeah, where it was like transparent. You pulled the one was store copy, and it had the little fleurs on the end, and that's what he's actually writing on. So a lot of the book is
it's like a pain.
It does, and I feel like you could only get so many words on the page because to me the ones that were like that small, but I don't. It could be full page. I don't know. But, so, some of the formatting styles, like, everything's underlined, nothing is italicized because they didn't have that on what he was writing on, which I thought was kind of a cool explanation. And so, basically, he put all of his memoir in the glove compartment of her truck, because he sees her, and sees her son, and, so sad, So instead of killing Amber, because he never wanted to, he basically is like, you know, I loved you. You were my person. I wish we could have been something kind of thing. And he decides, you know, to kill himself with peanut butter by ingesting a whole big-ass jar of peanut butter. And that's where the book ends.
Yep. It's a little sad at the end.
It is very sad. I think the last thing he says ends like his best memory of them together, which was on the football field holding hands.
Yeah.
It was like really sad. So that's the book. Okay. I have a lot on this one actually, but is there anything you want to talk about first?
Okay, so
before we get into the ratings, all that fun stuff.
Before we get into the ratings, I want to give a couple movie recommendations.
Okay.
Because this book to me was very reminiscent of Behind the Mask with Leslie Vernon.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
And then The Town That Dreaded Sundown. If you haven't seen those two movies, read the book first, obviously, and then watch those two movies, and then you'll see what I'm talking about.
Definitely with the first one, because obviously I watched that one. I know that one. It's actually a really good movie, though. So I kind of had some things with. This is not our first book where the narrator is not 100% accurate.
Yeah, they're unreliable.
Yes, very unreliable. And so that when that happens, that makes me question what else was maybe left out, not intentionally or intentionally. You know what I mean? But yeah, my main one was, where the fuck is the 14 coming in? How do you kill 14 people? Like, I don't understand. But yes, I think it was really interesting that it was kind of set in a memoir style.
Yeah.
And I actually, once I figured out what was going on, I really like that writing style.
Yeah. That's why I warned you in the beginning. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I know his writing style is a little funky at first, but then once you get through, like, getting over the writing style, it's really good.
Yeah. No, 100% agree. It was a really good book. The only thing I maybe had was fate versus free will. Kind of, I feel like that was a big theme in the book, where now he's in this slasher persona, he can only do certain things.
Yeah.
So, I feel like he kind of beat that by running away, because I feel like if he was a true slasher, he would have
come back every time.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with, like
since he was the final girl, maybe. I don't know if that's
the distance. So if they're not in the same area,
okay,
then
he would just be a normal person-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because in like the future tense that he did kind of include in the book, I think some of his abilities helped him, like putting the nut in his shoe to make him go faster, but he never killed anyone else besides the 6 people.
Yeah, because those were his
revenge. Yeah. Just this whole Strappy. This fucking why?
Well, he needed a name.
I know.
Every slasher has a name.
It could have been way cooler. Okay. Way cooler.
Well, he only did get a TV movie.
Yeah, I guess. I don't have anything else. Do you want to? Do you have anything else regarding the book? Any call-outs you want to make?
I don't think so. Those 2 movies very reminded me of this, so it's like
I can definitely see it with the one. I just not seen the other ones.
Yeah. Town That Dreaded Sundown. There's a kill in it that has to do with a trombone.
Oh gosh.
So it's very much band related.
I gotcha. No,
it's also set in Texarkana, which is Texas, Arkansas, a town in Texas and Arkansas.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah, I don't have anything else. You want to go over to the ratings?
Sure.
Okay. What was your scary score for the book?
I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm not really scared of slashers, I guess. I don't know. Like, it wasn't very scary to me.
Yes, I gave it a 2.5 because I didn't really feel like I wasn't scared reading it. I was more, what's gonna happen next, kind of.
More intrigued of what's gonna happen, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, the killing with all the killing, obviously, and some of the ways they went, I could see where that would be kind of traumatizing for some people. I tried to think objectively on this one, but no, it wasn't that scary. I feel like we haven't come across a really scary horror book yet.
Yeah, one that creeps us out.
Yeah, like really creeps. Like, I feel like there's some were pretty like, but I want scared. I want to be scared. Anyways, so the overall rating. What's your overall rating?
It's a 4 for me.
Okay.
I like his writing style. Obviously, he's my favorite horror author.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 4 compared to his other books.
Okay.
Because I liked the Indian Lake trilogy better than I liked this one. So that's why it's a 4.
Gotcha. I also give it a 4. But I did not like the beginning of this book. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna like this. I really want to give it a chance. 60% in is when I changed. Actually, no. I think it was like 60, 70% in. I was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
I think it was just the writing style, because I didn't understand until you saw future him, and I'm like, who are you? Oh. Okay. I think once I figured that out, I was like, oh. Because I was feeling it was like more towards like a fan fiction, like formatting with how he writes.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of like early fan fiction that I read as a child. Just with some of like the comments that the writer puts in as
you're reading. Yeah.
Yes. Which I always like. I like him because I feel like you get more personality, more insight on who the person is.
Yeah. He has a very distinctive writing voice.
Yes. Which I was scared I wasn't going to like it, but there towards the end, I was like, oh, this is actually really good. It gave me more appreciation for it. And then the ending of the book, I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, I was going to give it maybe a solid 3. And then when I got to that, like, last little bit of him and the peanut butter, I was like, oh, shit, man. Like, damn. I was not expecting that. I was expecting, him to kill her. Just because it's a slasher. But, whoa, damn. Like, it was a really good book.
Yeah.
I might actually pick up his other stuff, just because
I suggest My Heart is a Chainsaw. Well, it's the first one in the Indian Lake trilogy. You also have a good amount of slasher knowledge, so you're going to pick up on, like, her little clues. The movie I was thinking about before was The Burning, which I...
The Burning?
Yeah. But she goes into, like, a lot of slasher movies.
Okay.
So if you've seen horror movies, like we've seen horror movies...
I should recognize some of them?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, cool. Is that the one that's coming out in,
the special edition? Yes.
Yes. I don't want to talk about special edition books at the moment. I'm so sad. I want all the expensive ones. Anyways. Okay, you want to go over our next book?
Oh, yeah. Our next book is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Or how I like to call him, Brandy Sandy.
Have you read Mistborn?
No.
No?
I have not. This is my first Brandon Sanderson, which I'm kind of worried about because he's not Mistborn.
Yeah. He's known for Mistborn.
Yeah.
Is that a trilogy? Or
I think it's a lot of books.
Oh, okay. So yes, I've not read anything by him that I know of. So I'm interested. This is our sci-fi pick.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's weird because we're picking up a sci-fi book by Brandon Sanderson instead of a fantasy book because he's...
Oh, is that what Mistborn is, fantasy?
Yeah. He usually does fantasy, so...
Okay, interesting.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yes, we'll see how it goes. Tune in next time. Yeah. Tune in next time, see if we like his...
Sci-fi
instead of his what he's known for. So check in with us next time. See ya.